Hello, thank you for stopping by. I've tried to shoot this video 3 times now on letting go of being perfect. Allowing things to have mistakes, allowing yourself the messiness of life. And here I am having technical difficulties, having things go wrong, having my mic not stay, so I'm putting it in a weird spot on my shirt. All sorts of things, right? But that's what this video is about. The video is about letting go of this incessant need to fix everything and get it right. And what is the measure of that anyway? You finally get it right and then you die? What is the measure of getting it right? This comes up everywhere. I was talking to a dear friend of mine who is a spiritual YouTuber and has a great channel. And sometimes I even am hesitant on sharing his name because I think I want to get it right. I don't want people to think I'm trying to just name drop, or what if I don't have this, then that looks weird, or what are people, you know. So he was laughing. His name's Kyle Cease. I've mentioned him lots of times. We've been friends 20 years. But the egoic part of me goes, well, people are going to think if he's your friend, he better do this or that for you because he's huge, right? And I'm like, I better get it right. If I mention, I better be at some kind of level. And that's all ego. It is all an idea in your head, and it's never good enough. So him and I were talking about this stuff, and it's like, when will you know, Leah? When you have 1 million people? It's like, no. Because that need, that incessant need, is never going to be filled. And that goes for everybody. He shares about that a lot in his own life experience, right? If you follow him at all. And if you don't, you can go to his channel and check him out. But I'm ready. That part of me is dying. That part that always wants to get it right. And so we begin to uncover more. He's like, well, where, what does that stem from? It's usually someplace in childhood when you thought you weren't good enough, and so you want to get it right. And for me, that is definitely true from my childhood. And see, even in this video right now, it's coming up for me. I'm like, oh God, don't say that, because I want to get it right. I want to do it right. But that part of me is dying off. So I have alcohol. See, I can't even say it now. My throat chakra is shutting down. I have alcoholism that runs in my family, and it's been devastating in many ways. And I've tried to fix it, right? I've tried to fix it, especially with my dad. I want to fix it. And there's nothing to be fixed. So because I couldn't fix it, I started transferring that onto people I would date. I would date addicts. Either recovering addicts or people who had a live, running, active addiction. Because of that addiction in me to, like, I got to be seen, I need to be seen by somebody who has this addiction. That's the underlying thing. It's crazy if you allow it to be. But once you see it, you can laugh at it. And go, I can't fix that. And I'm going to constantly run that same pattern if I keep doing that. So that's what he was, reflecting to me. He's like, it's not you, it's just a pattern. So with this YouTube stuff, I'm like, I want to, especially because I have friends that are huge. That runs a racket on your ego. It can, on mine, right? Because I'm like, I got to look a certain way. I have to do a certain thing. I have to present a certain way. What will they think? I need to fix it. I can't just show up and have it be imperfect. I've shared with you before, that's why I didn't start for many years. Because I do know a lot about editing and different things that, so if it's imperfect, what are they going to think? That I suck, that I don't know what I'm talking about. So that part of me is dying. And it's dying every day, and publicly. But I cry a lot of stuff out. because that isn't working. And no matter how perfect it is, it will never be good enough. If you're running that addiction, if you chase that, you'll find an awesome person in a relationship. It won't be good enough because the addiction is more powerful than the moment. So that's why I'm really excited that that part of me is dying off after all these years, because it just doesn't work anymore, and it's a story that isn't true. So this week I had a few things happen where I just wanted to be seen. One friend of mine in particular, I felt really misunderstood by. And the more I was wanting to be seen, the more he misunderstood me. The more I wanted to be seen and fix it, the worse it felt like the energy was, the more he didn't understand me. So I get to kill off more of that part of myself and go, you know what? It's okay. Even if it's somebody who I really cared about or care about or whatever, and they don't see me and they don't get me, they don't like me, they change their mind about me, and it fires up all this need to want to be seen and want to be understood. It's okay. I can't change them. I can only love on the part of myself, that little girl part that is like, I'm not enough until this person understands me, until I help them in some way, until they see me in some light. But often what has happened is then when they do, they're gone. Because see, then that the addiction won't keep going if that cycle can't continue. So it's weird how sometimes we can discover that we're addicted to things we don't even like, right? Or maybe not, because that happens with a lot of addicts. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to make myself sick, but I keep doing it. It's like the more focused I am about how many mosquito bites I'm getting right now, the more mosquitoes are biting me. The itchier I am. The more I try to fix it, the itchier I am and the more that they come. But if I just let it go, I probably won't even get bitten. But if I'm looking for people, you know, the other thing I said to him was that is like, people put me sometimes on a pedestal until they get close to me and then they dismiss me. And that's the pattern. That's the pattern that I run out. So that part of me is dying, and so inside of that, I feel a sense of urgency. I feel a sense of urgency because I got to hurry up and fix it before that pattern is totally dead within me and I don't have an opportunity to anymore. See? And he's like, well, what would it be like if you just didn't need anyone to understand you? Especially people who are emotionally shut down. Because that's the pattern, you know? It's like I go after the people who are emotionally shut down. I just said, you know, and that's a pet peeve of my mom's. It's a pet peeve of mine. So now I'm like, oh, I'm not getting it right. So the other thing that he said that was so funny is that we can't change other people's minds. They're going to think about you however they want to think about you. And the more you try, the worse it becomes, the less seen you'll be. So they're going to think no matter what you do, whatever they want. No matter what you do, no matter how perfect and right you try to get it, they're going to think whatever they want. So you have no control over that, ever. But he said what you do have control over is you can change their mind inside of your mind. So something happens, right? You have the instance where the friend misunderstands you or you go through a breakup. And then it's triggered this need to fix it or want to be seen. But that instance is over. Now that's in the past. Now you're just running the avatar of what that person is saying. Now you're having the conversation in your head of wanting to be seen. Now you're playing the worst parts in your head about where they didn't see you. So it can fire up that addiction. You can play out the pattern. Or you can change their mind inside your mind and have them think something else. It's like, okay, I see you, I get it, it's all good. Because it's all just you in there. So then I started laughing. Because often we want to be seen by the people who have no willingness to see us, because that's how we can get hooked into the cycle. You see what I'm saying? Because once you're seen by somebody, you're like, okay, on to the next. And it can play out both ways. So often the people that I want to see me, they're like, okay, you know, that's good. I know what that's about now, and I'm on to the next. Because they're playing out that cycle. So it can only stop. You can only stop that by going, okay, I'm going to stop it. If I keep chasing that approval, whether it's through views or relationships or anything, you're like a rabbit on the wheel, or hamster. Do rabbits go on wheels? Maybe. They do sometimes, I think, right? You can tell me in the comments if they go on wheels. I know our mind does. It goes on wheels. Oh, that happened. I don't like it. I got to fix it. What if you don't? What if you just don't? What if you could just let it go? To the point of, I don't need anyone's approval. What would that be like? So when we got to that place, it was just joy. I felt happiness and joy. And I got to see the absurdity of what it is, that attachment that I have to running after some need to be right, to get it right, because I think I'm not enough until I do. What if you are enough even when you get it wrong? What if you are enough even in the mess, even in the mistakes? That's the other thing that we do. We shame ourselves when we get new information. Oh, I should have known. Well, you didn't. You don't know until right now, whatever you know. You had to go through everything that you went through up until this point to be at this point. That's it. But we always want to be somewhere else. I should have known yesterday what I know today. We're in the past, we're in the future, and then we have anxiety, and then we want to fix it, and we want to run around. Just stop. So I've been feeling it all, and it's not great. I've been feeling that need and just going, okay, I can't fix it. I can't change anyone's mind. I get to be misunderstood. I don't need validation. So please let me know if you're in this up-leveling, right? The up-leveling of consciousness. That's the other thing we talked about. We had a long conversation. One day maybe we will have a conversation publicly, right? But I don't want it to be out of a place I got to prove something. I'm even just sharing this with you because it's just what happened, and there's validity and alignment in me sharing that it was actually Kyle Cease instead of just saying Kyle, because he gives a lot of great wisdom on his channel. So it would be out of alignment for me not to say that, right? It's out of alignment for me to pretend I don't want to because I want to get it right, and your impression of me means more than just saying the truth. So that's why I mention him. But now I lost my train of thought. Maybe it wasn't something I'm supposed to even say anymore. Just get it wrong, right? Forget what you're saying. It's all good when we surrender into just right now. I have no idea what I'm doing. I get so stuck on the analytics sometimes. Do people like it? Do they not like it? Is my makeup okay? My eyes were itchy. Was I broken out? Oh my God, they hate me. They're not going to get it. I was rambling. The audio wasn't good. Oh, that's what we were joking about too. He's like, what would happen if like the worst case scenario in your head happens of like not being good enough? And I started laughing because it's so absurd. It's like, what would happen? What, everyone's going to have a parade? Like, we knew it. She's not good enough. She totally sucks. I knew it first. I backed out on her first. Right? I misunderstood her first. I knew. We all win. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. And even if that was to happen, that would be absurd, like a cartoonish portrayal, but it happens, right, to some people in the public eye. We all hate so-and-so. We're all in this together. So even if that was something that happened to you, to still love yourself, especially then, not to abandon yourself then. That's when we abandon ourselves and seek others' approval. That's when we need to turn in the most. See, I'm getting all like hiccupy now. getting all excited. Because that's when we turn in the most, is when you're like, oh my gosh, I need to be understood. Why? Why? You'll still connect with whoever you need to connect with. Because those people that are in vibration that have an openness to understand you, they will come to you. You don't have to try to do it. I shared in the past video, I've been having this horrendous labyrinth of email server stuff that it's like almost too hard to even explain. But the long and short of it is that I've been missing a ton of emails. But what's been so magical, I was in such the resistance of it for a few weeks that it was causing anxiety and stress so much, because I'm like, this is not right. This is not how I want people to perceive me and my business. This is not me getting it right. Having an email that's not working. At one time a phone wasn't. My web designer, God bless her, had passed away. Like, it was a perfect storm during COVID. And now I'm unraveling a lot of this. Now. There was so much resistance to it because I didn't want to look at what I had missed or what had happened or what mistakes had been made. But the minute that I just opened up into it, admitted the truth, detached from it meaning anything about me and my validation and my being good enough or my being a competent business owner, and just it being something that happened, I've had a floodgate of students come signing up. I'm like filling up classes, filling up my private coaching schedule. Slots are getting filled. But it wasn't until I just named what is. Instead of trying to be some image of what I thought it should be to look perfect. I just said, hey, I wasn't ignoring you. Our email's been shut down. Let's go by phone. And maybe it's the universe's way to get me back to simpler times, which I'm always saying I want. And these phone calls have been great. So sometimes we're stripped away from the things that we think we need to get it right. And actually all those things falling away are paving the path to it, allowing it to be the highest and best. There is no right or wrong, but allowing it to be the highest and best. And it's one more thing Kyle was sharing with me. You know, he's like, there's like 2D and 3D, right? And it's like 2D is like, I want to feel good, or like positive affirmations. 3D is like, let me just try to be high vibe all the time. Like, and it's like this opening, and it's beautiful. But now we're going into like 40 and higher levels, right? Where it's like level 4 is like, I'm okay with what is. I don't need to force the darkness out to get to the light. I can feel it and still be okay inside of it. I can love myself inside the shame. I can love myself when I recognize this pattern that's been running. That's how I heal it. That's how I transform it and shift it. So I admit I've been, running a pattern, wanting to get it right. That's that old people pleaser part of me. What will they think if I get it wrong? And the times I have gotten it wrong, I'm like shaming myself. Oh, it should have been perfect. Should have been perfect. Nothing's perfect, and nobody knows what they're doing. So give yourself permission to not be perfect, to get it wrong, to mess it up, and to love that part of yourself that thinks it has to be perfect, it has to be seen, it has to be right. Because that is when everything comes to you easily and effortlessly. So many people called this week that hadn't. Some people I called, but other like out of the blue. Whoever is meant to be with you will be with you. Whoever is meant to really see you will. And those that won't no matter what you do, regardless how perfect it is. There's no getting it right. Let me know if this resonates with you. Is there areas in your life where you're trying to get it right still? And what happens when you just release that? And when you release validation from anybody? I know this week when I just let go of like, okay, this person isn't going to see me. That hurts. And I'm okay. That hurts and I want to fix it, and it's okay. I still don't need to do anything. I'm disappointed, and that's okay. I still don't need to do anything. And being with that, that's how we shift it. So let me know how you're working with this, if you are. If this video resonates with you, other videos that you'd like to have. And the more of us that allow ourselves to not have this shackle of like, you got to perform perfectly on ourselves, the more people won't put that energy on other people. And then we uplift and create peace on the planet, truly. So if you're into this idea, then join me in this journey. And if you haven't subscribed, just subscribe, because that right there is an energy. It's an energy. But I'm not here to prove something to you. Right? I'm here to just be with all of it. So if you're into that, be with me in this, and we lift up the vibration of the planet just by allowing us to be totally a mess. Whether it's, 2 people on board with us or 1 million. Being in that vibration that it's okay to be wherever I am is really powerful. So if you're with me on this, I thank you so much, because I feel it. And I'll see you next time. You got this. I promise you do. All of it. All of it. All right. Bye.